In this training video, we're going to talk about how to get excellent retention for your gym or studio so that the work you do in generating leads actually produces the ROI that you're looking for. So we talked about a few things. We talked about lead volume, which everyone goes to, oh, if I want more members, I got to get more leads. True, but you also have to do these other things well. So in our final training video in this series, let's talk a little bit about retention. This is based on what my wife Laura and I do in our 6 studios to get excellent retention, and based on what we have helped hundreds of other gym owners with around the country. I've been in the industry close to 17 years now, so I've seen a lot of different systems, a lot of different methods, and I've tried a lot of things out. And one thing that I've found to be true across the board is that facilities who are good at retaining the sorts of members that came to them on their own volition, on their own initiative, don't necessarily have what they need to be good at retaining members who they brought in with excellent lead generation, excellent follow-up, excellent booking ratios, and excellent close ratios. And here's why. If I invest money in lead generation, those prospects didn't come in through the doors on their own because they wanted to. I mean, they wanted to, but our offer got them to come in through the doors a little bit sooner than they would have on their own. And that's how you take over a local market. That's how you beat out the competition. You get people to take action before they would naturally take action on their own. And so by being a slight catalyst in that way, you funnel the people towards you instead of letting them be dispersed to wherever and whenever and whatever else they might spend their money on, because they will spend that money. It's just a matter of where is that money going to be spent. So we do the work of getting the leads. They come in or they opt in and they share their contact information sooner than they would have shared that information on their own. Then we have excellent follow-up in place so that not only do they express interest, but they actually book. And then we have an excellent show ratio system in place. So not only do they book, but they show up. We have an excellent close ratio or sales system in place so that these people who come in through the doors buy a membership, right? There's where we are. Now, from that point on, we got to be able to make sure that these people don't just join and then quit in 2 or 3 months. That's what a lot of people experience. And so a lot of owners go down the path of saying, well, I'll just only offer paid in full memberships, or I'll just push really hard for paid in full memberships. And that can work, and it does work. But not every facility is cut out for year-long commitments or paid in full memberships, and not every team member is cut out for selling year-long commitments or paid in full memberships. And in many cases, you're going to need to push against the prospects to lock them into a year commitment. Now, I'm not saying that year commitments are wrong. I think they're great. I think that most people need at least a year or two of consistent training to establish a healthy foundation in their life of, good habits and all of those things. I'm not against that. But what if we were able to help people stay for the long haul even without having to sell year-long commitments? Well, if we could do that, then it would be easier for our team to close memberships for us. And there would be more team members who were capable of doing sales. So this whole world of sales would be able to happen without our time and effort as the owners a lot easier. And that's why a lot of people sell month-to-month options. It's like, let's just ride the prospects in the direction that they're going, right? Ride the horse in the direction that it's going. Don't fight this thing and try to wrangle it if you don't have to. So to do retention well, especially if you're not selling paid in full memberships or year-long commitments, there's a crucial window, the first 30 days. Because the first 30 days affect how long someone stays. If someone uses, frequency of use in the first 30 days is the number one predictor for how long that member will stay. So we want to do a couple things. To do the first 90 days well and have someone in that long-term retention window and over the hump of the first 90 to 120 days, that's kind of our crucial window. We want to do the first month well, just the first 30 days. So we can't watch someone and hold their hand and watch them like a hawk for 4 months. No, you're going to be onboarding 30 to 50 members every month, maybe more in some cases, especially if you work with us, right? And so 30 to 50 members every month, let's just say 30 for easy figuring. 30 new sales every single month for 4 months in a row. That's 120 people to follow up with at the end of the first 4 months. But 30 people drop off and 30 people are added to it. So you've got like at least 150 people or more that you're following up with all the time to make sure they're using the facility, not really sustainable, not really possible for most people. But now if we say, well, just the first 30 days, if we're onboarding 30 new people per month, that means that there's about 30 people in our retention tasks or our retention follow-up. Now that's manageable. You can keep an eye on 30 people. Do the first 30 days well. That main hump of the first 120 days, 90 to 120 days goes well. When that goes well, they stay for the long haul. Now, how do we do the first 30 days well? Well, the easiest way to do the first 30 days well is to do the first day well. On day one, we want to do two main things. We want to establish a plan for success. We want to give them a good reason for referring a friend. That way they've got someone to go on the journey with them. Now, if we add these two things together, having a plan for success and having a friend to do the journey with, the likelihood of retaining that person for the long haul goes through the roof. There's one other thing that you're going to want to do, and this is in the first 30 days. You're going to want to follow up with those members to make sure that they follow through with the plan for success that they created with you. The plan for success should include 4 days per week of training, because that's how you build habits. 3 days per week of training, you're actually reinforcing the habit of not going to the gym more often than you're reinforcing the habit of going to the gym. So 4 days per week or more. Pick a consistent time, as consistent as possible, and that will make it easier for your members to be consistent. Now, the moment that they're not in that class or they don't show up to the gym at that time, we want to reach out to them. Not the next day, not when they haven't been coming in for the last 5 days, but any time within the first 30 days that a member doesn't show up at the class time they said they were going to show up at, we want to be reaching out to them within 30 minutes. And that reach out sounds like this. Hey, John, I noticed that you normally come on Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 9, and it's like 9:30 and I didn't see you here. So I was just reaching out to find out if we'll see you later on tonight or if you're coming in tomorrow. Either way, whenever you're coming in, we're looking forward to seeing you. If there's anything that I can do for you, let me know. We miss you here and we can't wait to see you again soon. By the way, if you'd like me to reserve a time for you for later on this evening or for tomorrow, just shoot me a text here on this line and I'll take care of it for you. I'll follow this voicemail up with a text message in case that's easier for you, and I can't wait to see you here in the gym soon. No guilt trips, just I can't wait to see you soon. I'll help you out with anything that you need. That's the strategy for doing the first 30 days well, and your retention will go through the roof. You know, when my wife and I and our business partners acquired some of the studios that we have now, there was a group of them that had terrible attrition, like more than 10% per month. And over the course of about 90 days, we were able to correct this monthly attrition. Some of them were like 12% per month. Some of them were more than that. All kinds of things were going on that were causing that. And we fixed these things. And this sort of onboarding for retention process is one of the things we put in place. And as a result, we started seeing monthly attrition stats of like 3%, 4%, 5%, 2%. So it probably averages out around 3 to 5% per month. And that is a really healthy spot. And that's an achievable place to be. You can get to those sort of retention stats and make everything so much easier on generating these leads. Because if this doesn't go well, then you have to close more people. And if the closing doesn't go that well, then you have to get a whole lot more shows. And if your show ratio, to get a whole lot more shows, you have to have a really good booking ratio. And to get a really good volume of people to book, you have to have a whole lot of leads. So you see what I'm saying here? When your retention isn't good, it makes the work up here on this end of the pipeline exponentially more difficult. And that's why we look at all 5 steps. Now, if you want us to bring more people in through the doors for you, here's how it works. Not only will we generate the leads, and we'll run ads for you on multiple platforms. Currently, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and sometimes the Google platforms. And having 4 different platforms means that we're able to get you the lowest cost per lead for your area, better than anybody else, which is great, but it's not the thing that's absolutely game-changing. Us managing the appointment setting for you is the thing that will save you the most time and make sure that you get a booking ratio that's more than 30 to 50%. Most of our clients are at like 70 or 80%. We'll also make sure the show ratio is good, and we will give you training, one-on-one training, as well as stuff that you can distribute to your team on the close ratio and the retention and all the processes we use in our 6 studios that we've used for hundreds of our clients and that I have personally been using, testing, experimenting, learning with and from for the last close to 20 years in the fitness industry. And that way, you don't have to try to figure out all this at once. A recipe for disaster is to say, well, I need more leads, and I'm going to figure out all these things at once, all on my own. That's very hard to do. And most of the time when I talk with people, they have tried 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 different ad vendors, and they say, well, the leads have always been bad. Why should I work with you? And I look back at what they were doing in these areas, and I say, no. Your leads actually weren't bad. The rest of your systems needed a little bit of love, and you just didn't know it yet. But no worries, we're going to do all that for you so that all you have to do is focus on the closing and the retention, so your time is spent on the people that are there for you in real life. And, whether you decide that you want our help with that or not, take the principle away with you. The principle is outsource anything that's not face-to-face. You cannot outsource this close ratio because it happens in person. You cannot outsource retention. These are all face-to-face activities. So maximize your time on these face-to-face activities, or spend your time developing systems so that your team can do these things well. And the less time that you spend on this top half of the funnel, the more time that you have for focusing on developing your team and doing all the face-to-face activities well. So I hope that helps you. If you want our help, if you want some of the free resources for growing your gym and getting more members, or if you want the gym membership sales book, click the link down below this video and you'll get access to all that, and the team and I will see you there.